When I turned 24, I finally got my own apartment. It wasn't much, just a modest one-bedroom in a quiet part of town. The rent was cheap, and my landlord seemed decent enough. It felt like a fresh start, a new chapter. I had no idea it would nearly be the end of me. For the first few weeks, everything was fine. My job was demanding, so I spent most evenings exhausted, curled up on the couch with Netflix or a book. I didn't have many friends in the area, and honestly, I enjoyed the solitude. That changed the night I first saw him. It was a little past midnight. I had fallen asleep on the couch, the TV still humming in the background. The only light in the apartment was the soft glow of the screen. I woke up groggy, rubbing my eyes, and reached for my phone to check the time. That's when I noticed something. Through the small gap in my curtains, I saw a figure standing across the street. At first I thought maybe it was just a neighbor, someone walking their dog or smoking a late-night cigarette. But as my eyes adjusted, I realized something chilling. He wasn't moving. He was just standing there, perfectly still, watching. The longer I stared, the more I realized he was facing my window. Not the street, not another building. Me. I told myself I was overthinking it. Maybe he was waiting for an Uber, or just spaced out while walking. But something about the way he stood there, his posture unnervingly rigid, sent a cold shiver up my spine. I shut the curtains all the way and forced myself to go to bed. The next night, he was there again. Same spot, same eerie stillness. I tried to ignore it, but it was impossible. I turned off all my lights, standing by the window, heart hammering in my chest. My rational brain screamed at me that it was nothing, but my instincts whispered that I was in danger. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. You have a beautiful home. My breath caught in my throat. My hands went ice cold. How did they get my number? I hadn't given it to anyone. I hadn't even lived there that long. Then another message. Unknown number. I love the way you look when you're scared. I dropped my phone. My stomach twisted. This wasn't random. This was him. I forced myself to peek out the window again, but he was gone. Just an empty street, as if he'd never been there at all. That was worse. He knows where I live. The next few nights were quiet. No messages. No strange figures outside my window. I convinced myself it was some kind of sick joke. Maybe some loser had picked up my number somewhere and thought it was funny to mess with me. Then, one evening I got home from work and something felt wrong. The door was locked. Nothing was out of place. But the air felt different. Like the apartment wasn't empty. Like I wasn't alone. I checked every room, every closet, under the bed. Nothing. I was just about to shake it off when I saw something that made my stomach plummet. My bedroom window. The lock was undone. I never left it unlocked. Ever. And then, the smell. It was faint, but unmistakable. A musky, sweaty scent. The kind that lingers on old clothes. The kind that shouldn't be in my apartment. Someone had been inside. That night, I barely slept. I pushed my dresser against the door, kept my phone clutched in my hands, and listened. At 2:47 a.m., I heard it, a soft creak, like a floorboard shifting under weight. My body went rigid, my breath caught in my throat. The sound came from the hallway outside my door. I listened, straining in the darkness. Another step, then another. I didn't move, didn't breathe, just lay there, frozen. Then, just outside my bedroom door, a whisper. I like watching you sleep. I don't remember much after that. I must have blacked out from sheer terror because the next thing I knew, it was morning. The apartment was empty. The front door was locked. But on the floor, right outside my bedroom door, a single, dirty footprint. I called the police. They did a quick sweep, but found no sign of forced entry, no fingerprints, nothing. They told me to keep my doors locked and call if anything else happens. That night, I stayed at a friend's place. I couldn't bring myself to go back. But at 3:12 a.m., my phone buzzed. A picture. My apartment door, taken from just outside. Unknown number. You can't hide forever. I was done. I packed a bag, called my landlord, and told him I was leaving. I didn't care about the lease. I'd figure it out later. I drove back to my apartment just to grab the essentials. I was in and out in under 10 minutes, but as I was locking up, I felt it again. That feeling, the kind that raises every hair on your body, the kind that tells you you're being watched. I turned my head slowly, and there, standing at the end of the hallway, was a man. Tall, thin, wearing a dirty hoodie with the hood pulled low over his face, and in his hand, he was holding my spare key.